A vehicle partially designed by Formula One engineers will replace the controversial Snatch Land Rover in combat operations. The Ocelot is made by Force Protection Europe and will be available for training purposes next year. The Land Rover had been criticised for not giving enough protection to troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, let's go live to our reporter in Afghanistan, Kath Brazier. Kath, tell us more about the Land Rover replacement. How's it come about?
The MOD put out a contract for a light protected patrol vehicle to replace the Snatch Land Rover. As you say, we could see the Ocelot in training at the end of this year or the beginning of next, and hopefully in theatre by the end of 2011. Now, the Snatch's deficiency have been acknowledged since the start of the Iraq War in 2003. Asked why it took so long to find a replacement, a former commander of 3 Para, Colonel Stuart Tootle, gave this reply.
Snatch's deficiencies came to light in Iraq in 2003, where it was clearly apparent that this was a vehicle that was not suitable for counterinsurgency operations where there was a high threat of IEDs in particular.
So this announcement is good news for the troops in theatre, Kath, but are there still many Snatch still around there?
No, there aren't any here, in fact. The troops here rely largely on the heavier armoured vehicles such as the Mastiff and the Husky, which is why there's such a need for a lighter version, like the Ocelot, which is 7.5 tonnes and therefore more mobile. Now, the manufacturers wanted survivability to be at the heart of this vehicle, and they say they've achieved the best in blast protection for a vehicle of its size. But it's also adaptable and versatile. Adaptable because all its parts can be dismantled and changed around, and it makes it easier to be repaired, quicker and easier to be repaired. And it also means 1 minute it can be a troop carrier, the next an ambulance. And its versatility is essential in the varying terrain of Afghanistan.
And Kath, you know about this vehicle firsthand because you actually did a test drive. What do you remember about that?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint any petrol heads out there, but it was actually quite like driving a car and not a tank like I thought it would be. But I suppose that is the point. The military don't want to spend weeks or months training people up on these vehicles. It needs to be a relatively simple process. Now, having seen a couple of the bids for the contracts earlier this year, I certainly felt at the time that the Ocelot had the edge. In my opinion, they've successfully rolled everything into one.
All right, Kath Brazier, thank you very much.